Welcome to Beautifully Rebellious. Tune in as we challenge the status quo, unlock mindset secrets, and inspire you to live outside the box. I'm your host, Erin Burr, and let's dive on in. Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of the Beautifully Rebellious podcast. If you can't tell, I'm a little tiny congested still, so I might sound congested, and that's alright. We're just going to deal with it. We are here to finally get this episode done. So let's just call out the major change that we can see right now, and that is the environment change up. I have officially moved into my own space. This is my home. This is kind of like my office / living area, and yes, I am sitting on the floor right now. That's because I don't actually own a couch or anything like that, but two, the lighting is kind of better here because this is where the window is, so we're gonna go with it. I don't mind the floor at all. So welcome to my new space, guys. I am very excited to be here. I have been here for I think a week now and just still getting into the groove of things, but welcome to my home. On that note, this home actually has a lot to do with today's topic, which is mastering the art of manifesting. If you've been following along on my journey, you know that I have been trying to find my own place to live for a very, very long time. I started searching well back before my divorce was even finalized, and then I actively, and when I say actively, I mean I went to the apartments, applied for them, etc. Started doing that last summer. And last summer I actually thought I had gotten a spot, landed it, but last minute they're like, no, you don't qualify, you're overqualified for this type of living place. And that was a very frustrating moment, but it was a blessing in disguise because a lot of reasons why that place just wasn't the best for me. It was an exciting opportunity just to be able to change up cities and to kind of create life in a different way that I have before, but there was also a lot of downsides to it that at the moment I probably was slightly too blinded to see because I was just very excited about the idea of moving. But I took a lot of time and watched this place for a while, and here we are. Got this place at a really great rate, and I'm loving it. It's very close to my kids, so I can still see them very easily, and here we are. But what does this have to do with today's topic again? Well, because I truly believe I manifested this place. And we're going to dive into some principles that are basically what I like to believe are the basis of manifesting. I do believe that everyone has the ability to manifest. It's not something that I think is limited to just certain people. I think it's something that we're all born with. It's just we don't know how to tap into that power until we are taught the skills, and then we go ahead and practice them. And the more that you practice it, the better and easier it gets to manifest things in your life. I did many of these principles, if not all of them, when it comes to attaining this place, and I'll get into that as I go through each principle a little bit more deeper, just to help give an example. But here we are in my new home, and let's dive into the very first principle, which is clarity. You have to have clarity about whatever it is you're trying to manifest if you are going to manifest it correctly. Think of it like if you and your friend are hanging out and you guys are like, oh, we're hungry, let's go get some food. And then she's like, where do you want to go? What are you feeling? And you're like, oh, I don't know, just something. I'm just hungry, so I'm just hungry. Let's get some food. And then so she makes the decision and she goes and decides, oh, we're going to get burgers. And you go, you get your burgers, and you're sitting there eating your burger, and you're like, this isn't actually what I wanted. I really was feeling tacos. Well, you didn't get specific about what it is that you wanted. You left it so open that what came to you is anything. You said, I'm open to anything in this realm. So that's why when it comes to manifesting what it is you want, you need to be specific and clear with your intentions so that those things that do come to you fall within what you're truly trying to bring forth into your life. So when it came to this place, at first I was kind of generic with what it was I was looking for, and I think this also was a part of my process because in the summertime when I was looking at a place, it was just a studio, and I was like, yeah, cool, I'll settle for this studio. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but at that point I just wanted a place. But then after I was denied that place and started looking at more places, I started to realize I don't want a studio. I want at least a 1-bedroom, and I want to have a washer and dryer. Like, there's just features that I started to narrow down and say, these are things that I want. And I started to get more and more specific, which led me to, one, being able to search better because I could knock out everything that didn't fit within my search parameters. And two, I could also easily say no to something if it didn't fit within those wants, which then meant that the only things that were coming onto my radar were things that fit within my criteria. And let's move on to point number 2, which all of these kind of feed into each other, and you'll hopefully see that as I start to talk about each principle. But the second one is visualizing. Once you know exactly what it is you are wanting, you need to be able to visualize yourself having already possessing that thing. So for example, my home here, I envisioned myself specifically in this house or this apartment with clarity. I toured this not this unit, but this apartment complex 3 times, 3 separate times within the realm of about a month and a half, because part of it was me getting more clear about it. The first time was to come in and just see, is this a place that I would even want to come into? So I came in, had a look, and I could feel it. Like, a big part of my moving process was going into each environment so that I could feel how my soul felt about it. And when I came in toward this apartment complex first, I felt great about it. I just didn't want to make a move yet because I didn't love the prices. And so I let it be, and I kept looking at it. I had my eye on it, but I was looking at other places as well. Then I came back a second time because I was like, I think I'm really feeling it, but let me just look at it one more time and decide. And the rent was at a price that I was mostly happy with. And so I came back through, and this is the time where I really started to take in the environment and say, all right, these are the cabinets. This is where the bedroom is. This is the living room. This is the bathroom. Like, take it all in so that afterwards I could picture myself in the environment, living in it. And that is exactly what I did. Once I had left, I then pictured the kitchen, which you can see over here. All the units are kind of the same model, just different colors. So I pictured actually the dark kitchen like this. There's a lighter one and the dark one. I have the dark one, and I pictured the dark one. And I pictured my soap at my kitchen sink. I pictured my bathroom with the bathroom accessories that I have already put up. I pictured myself living in this space. Pictured myself with my office set up and my bedroom set up and sleeping in it and watching TV in my room. I pictured all of it. I was visualizing exactly what life would look like for me in this space. And when I came back a third time, I toured this exact unit, which, funny enough, I had started the application after the second tour, but the unit was taken off the market, meaning someone else had put in their full application and paid for that application before I did. And so I pulled back and waited. But when I saw this unit and then applied, it was actually that exact same one, which I think is amazing because it was just showing how like divine timing and everything worked out, because the price actually went down also in that time frame. So, but I came back the third time toward this exact unit and knew in that moment, I was like, this is mine. Told the manager, I said, go ahead and process my application. I'm going for it. Which brings me to the next principle, which is positive thinking. It is so easy to get caught up in the what ifs. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? That you can easily think yourself out of a blessing, basically. And I do believe that whatever is meant for you will ultimately come to you, but you can prolong a process or basically cause little hiccups along the way with what you're doing. And your thinking, your thoughts, and your words are such an important part of life, but also what you're manifesting, that you need to make sure that you maintain a level of positive thinking. It could have definitely been easy for me to get caught up in the what ifs in the 1 week process between applying for the apartment and getting the approval. But I made sure that the people I surrounded myself with, who I told about the apartment to, were people that were going to be life-affirming, positive speaking people, and that they were going to speak high positive things about it and encouraged me to stay positive. And then also I made sure that my thoughts remained in a positive place. So I constantly spoke over myself. There's no reason why I should not have this apartment. This apartment is mine. I'm going to be moving in there on this date, blah, 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 things like that, which is another principle. Principle number 4, positive affirmations. Positive affirmations and positive thinking go hand in hand clearly, but positive affirmations are basically intentional statements that you speak over yourself that are positive, that are life affirming, that are life giving. And I made sure that I did this. It's so important to do this because this does retrain your brain to think positively. And the more you do it, I think the easier it is to just be a positive thinker, the easier it is to find the good in even bad moments, because we all experience bad moments, but when you can find the good in it, it's easier to bounce back, and you're just a happier being. You don't get sucked into the vortex of negativity. And when you're in that negative vortex, all you're doing is attracting negative things, because the law of attraction says that what you put out is what you get back. Like attracts like. So we want to be putting out positive, high vibrational things in order to be attracting those back. And another very, very, very important key component principle is gratitude. I don't think I can overstate how important gratitude is. Steve Harvey said something before, like everything he has in his life now is because he's practiced gratitude for most of his life. He has a whole thing on it. I've seen it, the video like 3 times on YouTube. And gratitude is so important in attaining the things that you want, because when you are grateful for what you already have, the universe wants to bless you with more. And when you are grateful for the things that you have now, you're opening the doors for more opportunity. And so you practice gratitude for what you have now, and you also practice gratitude for what is coming to you. And I always say practicing gratitude is so easy. It doesn't have to be, I think we overthink it so often and think, well, I need to practice gratitude for like these big things. I need to say I'm grateful for my family, or I'm grateful for my car or my job. And yes, well, no, you don't need to do anything, but yes, be grateful for those things if you're grateful for them, but also be grateful for the little things. I always say be grateful for that cup of coffee you had in the morning, that you had the time to have it, or that you were able to make it, or that you had the money to buy a cup of coffee. Be grateful for the food that you eat at lunchtime or breakfast or dinner, whatever. Be grateful for any of those things. Be grateful that you have a car that can take you from point A to point B and get you to your job. Be grateful for the little things. Because I think that when you're grateful for the little things, it's so much easier to just live in a state of gratitude. Now, you may have thought somewhere along this line of, Erin, it sounds like you did a lot of the work in getting your apartment. And yes, I did work, because this is a key principle. You cannot manifest things without taking aligned action. Manifesting isn't simply just sitting around and saying, I want this, I'm believing for this, I'm going to get this. No, it's taking aligned action along with your beliefs. And this is why it's so important to have a clear outline of what it is you're trying to manifest, and then having a clear plan of how you're going to go about manifesting these things. You do not make a goal and then not make a plan to go with your goal of how you're going to attain that goal, right? And manifesting is the exact same way, which is why I was out there actively looking for apartments and putting in applications and showing up for the tours, because I was putting out the message to the universe that this is indeed what I wanted. And so when I'm speaking it forth, I'm believing for it, and I'm putting in the action for it, all the things are aligning to make it happen. So remember, you can't just want it, you gotta act for it also, okay? Now, these last 3 are what I would say are the harder parts of manifesting, and that's because, well, you'll see why when I say them, but they're hard, but they're important. They are so important, and I think they're the ones that we often slip up on, which pushes back our manifesting process. The first one is detachment. You have to be willing to detach from what it is you are wanting. You cannot hold on to it and expect it to do its thing. It's like, it's kind of like that whole concept when they say, like, if you love somebody, let them go and they'll come back to you. Now, in the realm of relationships, that's a very weird thing, and we could go down many rabbit holes with that, but it's the same idea. It's, if you really do want the thing, then release it so that it can go out into the world and basically develop and come back to you ready. I hope that makes sense to you. You cannot hold on to the thing. You cannot hold on so tight to it. I see it kind of like when we're holding on to it, it is a form of control. We are trying to say, this is how I'm going to attain this thing. And yes, you are taking actions towards things, but again, aligned action, not just you doing whatever it is you want, driven by your ego. But you have to be willing to release it. Release the control and flow with the flow of the universe and the divine timing and plan, and allow it to come back to you in the time that is right and in the way that is right for you. And this also means that you have to release resistance around it. It is very, very easy, like I said, to get sucked into the negative side of things, to let fear overcome you and doubts and worries and be like, I'm never going to get a place. Like, for my example, I'm never going to get this, I'm never going to get that, I'm not good enough for this. It's very easy to get sucked into that, which is why we have to have our positive affirmations to fall back onto, and why we need to have our gratitude, because it keeps us in a higher state of mindset and vibration, because we do not want to get stuck in those fears. It's okay. You're going to have those moments, but we don't want to get stuck in them, because again, where your focus goes, energy flows. And if you're focused on the doubts and the fears, that's where the energy is going. That's where you're manifesting from. We do not want to manifest from doubts, fears, worries, etc. Okay? Trust in the universe, trust in its divine timing, trust in its planning. Remember how I said before, not everything goes the way that we plan for it, because we can only see things from our perspective. But the universe or God, whatever you want to refer to that as, can see everything from a bigger bird's eye point of view. So they see the big picture, and they can see what is ultimately best for us and what will play out best. And so be open to how things are going to happen, because it could be different than your plan, but ultimately it's the best plan for you, and you're not going to look back and be like, well, I really wish it would have gone this way instead. Trust me, you're not. You're going to be like, man, I couldn't have even imagined that it was going to be this good. And then the last one of those three, so the three difficult ones: detachment, releasing resistment, and patience. 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 I hear that word all the time, and I'm like, damn you, patience. Patience is so important, and it is hard because we, especially in this day and age, are not trained to be patient. Everything we want is at our fingertips. You want food, you can go get it right now. You want to watch a movie, you can rent it right now. You can have anything instantly. We do not have to be patient beings, but being patient is so key when it comes to manifesting. Like I was just saying, things happen in divine timing, in the time that is right for us and for the situation and for whatever it is that we are trying to bring forth. And if we rush the process, we will not be ready for whatever it is we are bringing forth. If you're trying to buy a house and you don't yet make enough money to pay the monthly mortgage, but you rush and somehow you buy a house before you're ready, you're not going to be able to make that monthly mortgage, and you're going to lose your house. But if you allow things to happen in the right timing, and you first are able to get a job promotion or pay increase, or a job that allows you to make enough income that you can pay your monthly mortgage, then when it's time to buy that house, you are ready for it. So be patient, trust the universe, trust the timing, and trust that although the process sucks sometimes, it sucks to know where you want to be and to be able to see it and visualize it and not yet be there. In the process is where you are being refined to be able to handle everything that you are envisioning. So be patient and trust the process. So those are my personal, very basic principles of manifesting. I really do believe that you follow those and you will be a master at manifesting. And don't forget my Santa Claus theory, where believing is seeing. You have got to believe so strongly for the things that you are trying to bring forth in your life, because what actually exists in our reality first was created in our minds. Everything in existence, every invention was first created in minds. And so believe it in your mind so strongly, without a doubt, that it is so that you can bring it forth and create it in this reality. The Santa Claus theory, believing is seeing. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking around, for being patient with me on my move and getting this up in a delayed process. I am going to work on being more consistent again now that I'm kind of getting back into the flow of things. But thank you so much for showing up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave comments, and we can communicate that way. All right, guys, until next time, thanks so much. Bye.